So, you want to make speed paints? Well, you've come to the right channel. I've been making them for years. I understand how hard it can be for any young YouTuber trying to figure out their craft, so I figured I'd lend a hand and dispense years of my hard-earned speed paint knowledge. The goal of this video is to give you a starting point to find your own process. Be sure to supplement this information in this video with other tutorials. Also, links to software and timestamps will be in the description. With all the formalities out of the way, let's get started. If you watch and have a desire to make speed paints, you probably have experience with digital art. This tutorial is mostly focused on the recording and editing parts of the process, but I'll give you a few recommendations for hardware and software if you're just starting out. For hardware, I use a Wacom Intuos tablet that I've been using since 2016, nothing too fancy. On the software side, I've used a lot of different tools over the years. One free software that I recommend for beginners is Medibang Paint Pro. It's got a lot of nice features found in other software like Photoshop without being too hard to get the hang of. It also has nice tools for comic making. I have so much muscle memory with this program that I still keep it around for making thumbnails. The software that I currently use is Clip Studio Paint. It's got a ton of functionality for illustration, comic creation, and even animation. It can be a little pricey and even a bit complex at first, but there are a ton of sales for it throughout the year and a ton of tutorials to get you started. Now that you have your software ready and hopefully an idea for a drawing, you can start recording. You can use a screen recorder to record your drawing process. If you poke around, you might already have a method for screen recording pre-installed into your computer like Xbox Game Bar. Personally, I use a free software called ShareX. When starting the program, first click on the Capture tab, then move down to the Screen Recording option. Then drag your cursor to fit the area you want to record. Then click to start. As soon as you click, you can start drawing. You can click on the Stop button to finish the recording. Be sure you don't click on the Abort button, as it will delete the entire recording. You'll probably find your recordings in your Documents folder inside a ShareX labeled folder. Lots of people like to add their own commentary to their speed paints. If you're happy with making your speed paint without talking, you can skip to the next section about music. For recording your voice, you'll most likely need a microphone or your phone. A cheap clip-on mic can do the trick. The mic I use for my recordings is called the Antlion Mod Mic Wireless. It's a cool little mic that clips to your headphones using magnets, and it costs around $119. Now that you have your hardware, you can start recording. If you're using a mic, you probably need software to record. The go-to free software for audio recording and editing is Audacity. It's pretty versatile and quick to use. After installing Audacity or your software of choice, hook up your mic and hit record. When doing commentary, I usually watch my art recording so that the audio length matches the video. Depending on the quality of your mic, you'll have to do some editing to make your recording sound cleaner. First, if you're recording your audio with your phone or other device, try to get it into Audacity. Next, let's remove some background noise. Highlight a beginning part of your audio, likely before you start speaking. Go into the Effects tab, select Noise Reduction, and click Noise Profile. This will use the highlighted part of the audio as a reference. After that, you'll want to select the entire audio and go back into Noise Reduction, this time using the reference to clean up the whole recording. Keep the entire audio highlighted. You'll want to use these effect options in this exact order. Note that you shouldn't have to fiddle around with any of the options. This order is Compressor, Limiter, Filter Curve, First Bass, then Treble Boost in Manage, then finally Normalize. After all that is done, you should have a much crisper, cleaner recording. Export that bad boy and you're ready to move on. What's a cool speed paint without some sick jams to accompany it? You probably have some specific song in mind for your future projects. If you want to gather songs, you can use any YouTube to MP3 site to get it. I usually try to match my song by subject or vibe, like Sonic music for Sonic speed paint or a happy song for an upbeat art piece. While you have the freedom to create the speed paint of your dreams, YouTube can be fickle with certain copyrighted songs, so be wary of using super popular music. or you could just ignore my sound advice and be a maverick. Video game music is usually pretty safe, but still try to check if the publishers of said music have any conflicts with use in YouTube videos. For safe music that sounds nice, I'd recommend the YouTube Audio Library or Stream Beats. One last note, you might want to get a few songs just in case they end up not being long enough for your recordings. For editing software, I use Adobe Premiere. It's a comfortable piece of software, but its monthly payments can be very annoying. For a free alternative, I'll suggest DaVinci Resolve. It has a bit of a learning curve, but you can do just as much with it as Premiere. Now that you have your editing software, you can start editing. First, gather all of your materials you'll need for your video, your speedpaint footage, your finished drawing, your music, your voice recording if you have that, and any intro or outro that you use for your YouTube videos. Second, I lay down all of my materials on the timeline. First, I put down my footage, then my art, and lastly my outro. If you feel as though your speedpaint footage is too long, you can change the speed of the video by right-clicking it. I'd only advise this if you're doing a video without commentary, as it can create syncing issues with your recording audio. Thirdly, I added my recording in the audio track and then my music in another audio track. I decided to do just music for this demonstration. Lastly, I add some transitions and movements. I like to add film dissolve effects to my transitions. I also use the pan and zoom tool to help give a good look at the finished picture. Export that video and you're ready to upload. Hope this video proves helpful in your speedpaint journey. As a special treat, here's the finished version of my demonstration. Enjoy.